Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna take a more spiritual approach and we're gonna talk about gaslighting. If you have ever dated a narcissist or if you have ever been in a relationship with a narcissist, you don't even have to be in a relationship. If you know a narcissist, then you know what gaslighting is. I'm gonna put you guys on to a couple tips and tricks on how to figure out if you're dealing with a narcissist and when they're gaslighting you, because I feel like gaslighting is something that narcissists do a lot to keep you entangled in their web of lies and manipulation and in that relationship. So if you would like to know more about gaslighting and narcissism, then keep on watching. If you are into spirituality, then you already know what a narcissist is. You already know what a narcissist is about, probably. If not, then you have come to the right video. I think that's something that everyone needs to be aware of, because nowadays there's a lot of narcissists around and a lot of people that like to take advantage of people and make people feel like they're crazy. On everyone's spiritual journey, and I feel like anyone who's an empath, they have come across a narcissist before. Pretty much a narcissist is someone who is very self-absorbed. They only care about themselves. They don't care about anybody else. They will manipulate you and do anything to keep you under their spell. And when I say anything, I mean anything. Like, I feel bad for them, but at the same time I don't, because, you know, what they do is just terrible. There are a lot of narcissists out in the world, and it's just crazy. It's crazy. They have no empathy. They just don't care. Let's talk about some of the key ways that you can find out if you're dealing with a narcissist. Right off the bat, you will notice that they just lie. Their stories never add up. They like to lie. They like to portray a life that they are not living. You know, there will be like little red flags. Like, things are just not adding up with this person. When they don't get their way, it's all hell is breaking loose. Narcissists are very self-absorbed. All they care about is themselves. So when situations are out of their control, you will start to see a different side of them, where it's not the person that you know. But when you're dealing with a narcissist, I don't really think that you actually know who they are, because they lie and they like to just portray a whole bunch of different sides of them. I really think narcissism is like a personality disorder or something like that, because I feel like narcissists is like one day you see who they actually are or who you think they are, and then the next day it's something else. And you know, these people just lie and lie and lie. You actually really don't know who a narcissist really is, because it's just, they have 100 different personalities and faces that they show people. They like to be in control. They like to control situations. They like to control people. They just like to be in control, complete control, almost to a level that is ridiculous. When they can control other people, that is when they are truly happy. You will notice that narcissists also think that they are just better than everyone and they are higher above, and that you cannot get on their level when their level is just not even a level. It's a level in their own head. They're crazy. You know, they try to make you feel crazy, but in reality, they're the crazy ones, and they live in this little fantasy world that they've created in their head. They like to be admired, you know, like that's the whole thing with narcissism. Like, it's all about them. They like to be pointed out. They like people to acknowledge them. Like, look, for example, if you have not seen on Netflix Don't Fuck with Cats, it's a documentary on Luca Magnotta. He is a narcissist. The way that he will do anything just to be noticed, and that is what narcissists do. Like, they will do anything. They like to be in the spotlight. With Dave, you know, I've told everybody, my mouth is reckless. So when it came to Dave, he could hurt me emotionally, like just by saying little things. But the moment that I said anything to him about himself that was really low, then it was just, everything was called off. Like, it was just the biggest. I could stoop to his level, but when I stooped to his level, the world was over. You know, it was me that was in the wrong. And then what I would say to him, he would go back and try to prove me wrong. Yeah. And when it comes to you telling them about themselves, they can't be critiqued, right? Because they're, in their mind, they're better than everyone else. So when you tell them that something about them is wrong, they take it really harshly, and they really can't take it at all. Like, they can't take self-criticism. I was dealing with a narcissist. Now, let's just do a story time. I've been gaslighted before. It's not fun, it's not cute. Thank the Lord that it didn't really get to me. I was seeing a narcissist 3 years ago. I thought I was in love with this man. I'm not even gonna call him a man, we just gonna call him a narcissist. I was in love with this narcissist. Now, in the beginning, I thought everything was all sweet, everything was all good, and then I started seeing this other side of him. And the one time, so I never even thought he was capable of gaslighting until I started seeing this other side of him. This is in May of 2017. I wasn't even in this relationship for a long time with him. What had happened was I had seen him on someone else's Snapchat story, right? Now, in my mind and what he was portraying to me, we were in a relationship. We were in something, okay? We've all been there. So in my mind, we were in a situation. We were in a relationship. I seen him on someone else's Snapchat story. There was a female. I automatically went nuts. This was like 6 in the morning. I'm on my way to work. I see this Snapchat story, and I'm just on his ass. I start texting him. I screenshotted the story, so I'm sending him the receipts. I seen you with that girl. You know, I'm going at him. Here we go with the manipulation. I'm on my way to work, and he's telling me, he's trying to flip the story from him to him needing to, he's like
something happened tonight, I need you to come to my house right now, I need to see you, I need to tell you what happened.
Now, mind you, I had already skipped a day of work like the week before, and this was a new job for me. So I couldn't skip, I couldn't not go to work. I couldn't not go to work again, because it was a new job. So I told him no, you know, I will come after work, I'll come after my shift, and he just went nuts. He did a full 180 on me. He starts cussing me out, you know, like, this is done, I never want to speak to you again, this, that, and the third. He's trying to reel me in, right? So this is narcissism. He's trying to reel me in by threatening the relationship, okay? This is what narcissists do. This is how they get control. This is over, I never want to see you again, don't hit me up, this, that, and the third. And you know me, I'm just like, listen, sweetie, I got a job. I'm going to come and see you after my shift is done. Okay, I'm working 7 to 3. You're going to see me today, so shut the hell up. And he's like, no, don't come over, this and that. I stopped responding, okay? I finished my shift at 3 o'clock. I go home. I get in my dick appointment attire, because you know, and I go to his house, right? I'm on the bus, and I'm busting into his house. I get there, right? And I didn't text him, I didn't warn him, because I told him in the morning, I'm coming over. You can tell me what you gotta tell me after work. So I get to his house, I go to buzz the apartment, and it says that the number that is attached to that apartment key or whatever, it's unavailable. So I'm like, of course. So I go around to the back of the apartment, and no one's there, the door's locked, right? So stupid me. I'm like picking up little rocks, and I see he was on like the top floor. This apartment only had like 2 floors. So I'm like picking up rocks and pebbles, and I'm trying to throw it at his window. It's not reaching though. So I go around to the door, and I'm waiting, and this lady comes, and she lets me in the apartment. So I go up the stairs, and I go to his apartment, and I knock. Knock, 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 knock. I don't really hear anything, right? So I'm standing there, and I'm waiting, and I'm knocking, and then I hear like footsteps, and I can hear someone behind his door. Put my finger over the peephole. And I'm waiting, and I'm knocking. No response, no one opens the door. He texts me, and he's like, bounce. Telling me to bounce. So then, I have my finger still, and I start banging on the door, and I'm like, Dave, open this door right now. I can hear you back there. Open this door, Dave. I came all the way here. You wanted to talk to me. I'm here now. Open the door, Dave. He starts texting me, and he's like, you need to leave and this and that. So I start calling him. I'm calling him and I'm calling him. No one's picking up, and then he blocks my number. So I'm still banging on the door. I'm rattling the doorknob, and I'm like, Dave, open this door right now. Dave, open this door, right? And I can hear people behind the door. Then all of a sudden, the door opens and he comes for me with his hand out. And we start tussling in the hallway of his apartment. It's a nice little quiet hallway, quiet apartment, and he kind of like pulled the door closed behind him. So we're tussling. We get down into the stairwell. He's trying to put me down and get me out. That was his goal, get me out of the apartment and lock me out. It's not working, right? Because I'm a strong bitch. Like, you're not gonna get me out if I don't want to be out. He gets me down one flight of stairs, and then we start arguing, and he's like, because I'm looking at him, he's in his boxer shorts. Like, I know something happened, okay? I'm not stupid. And I'm like, so who's up there? And he's like, no one's up there. No one's up there. I'm like, you're half naked right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's up there? Like, let's go see who's up there. And he's like, no one's up there. And then he switches the story, and he's like, yeah, there's a hoe up there. And what? What are you gonna do? And I'm like, let's go see her. Let's go talk to her. He's like, you need to leave. You need to get out of this apartment. Who let you in? And how did you get in here? You're so crazy, this and that. And I'm like, you told me you wanted to see me, so that's why I'm here. I came because you were freaking out this morning. And he's like, that was this morning. I told you not to come. You're so crazy. How could you show up at my apartment? I'm like, boy. He ends up trying to go back upstairs. He thinks I'm gonna leave. So he starts walking upstairs, and I'm like, let's go see who she is. So I start to follow him. That's when we start tussling again. And this is where he gets me down to the bottom floor where the door is. And this is where it starts to get real interesting. So what he does is he grabs me and I hold on to the railing. So then he starts to fling me from side to side, not too hard, but he tries to, like, you know, get me off of the railing. He yanks me out of the door, and I'm like holding on for dear life, and I'm like, you're not gonna get me out. So I'm holding on, and then he stops, so I get back into the apartment. Mind you, there's a family in the parking lot. Like, when I came to the back, there was a family at their car doing whatever, so we were not alone. He lets me go. I go back into the apartment, and he's like still cussing me out, and at this point, like, my feelings are really hurt. I start bawling, and he's like, oh, you're really gonna cry right now? You're really gonna cry? You're gonna be a big baby, this and that. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on? He goes back upstairs after like 3 minutes of, you know, trying to make me feel weird about crying. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I don't have anything to mess with his car. I don't have a knife. I don't have anything to go, you know, stab his tires out. I didn't come here prepared, okay? I thought I was gonna get some dick, and that's it. I was just sitting there thinking, like, what am I gonna do? 5 minutes later, he comes down fully dressed, jeans, a shirt, whatever. He leaves. And I was just sitting there like, there's a girl up there, obviously. Like, there's someone in his apartment. That's why he was like trying to not let me go in. I don't know why. Like, I just wanted to see who she was. To this day, I don't know who was in his apartment. So I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, why would he leave somebody up in his apartment and leave? Like, because he got in his car and he drove. So I'm like, I'm not stupid. I'm not dumb. Okay, sweetie. So I go through the basement of the apartment. I come up the stairs, and I see this chick, and she's running to his car, and they pull off. And I'm sitting there like, okay. I seen what she was wearing. I know what she was wearing. I see her skin tone, everything. So at that point, I'm just like, I gotta go. Like, what's the point of me waiting around here? He probably thought I was gonna wait for him, but I didn't. So I went, caught my bus, and I was on my way back home. It was like 6 p.m. I was just shocked. He starts blowing up my phone, okay? This is manipulation tactic number 2. Blowing up my phone. Where are you? You know, we need to talk about this. I don't know, there was no one in my apartment. Can we please talk? I need to see you. And I'm just sitting there on the bus like,
honey.
He's still blowing me up. I'm like on the bus. I'm trying not to cuss, so I'm like,
I seen you. I know exactly what I seen. You know, don't make me yell because I'm on the bus.
I got home, stopped talking to him, whatever the case may be. Woke up the next morning. He starts blowing my phone up at 5 because I worked early shifts. He's blowing my phone up, and he was just like, okay, so if there was a girl, this is where the gaslighting started. The fact that he knew how I felt about him, and he knew that he could control me, which he couldn't. At this point, I was like too far gone. After what I seen, you can't control me. So he couldn't get me face to face, so he was really trying to manipulate me through the phone and trying to gaslight me through the phone by making it seem like my reality was not reality. So this is what he was trying to do. Tell me what she looks like. Tell me what she was wearing since you've seen her. But when I would tell him this is what she was wearing plaid, she was brown skin, she had black hair. Nope, that wasn't her. She wasn't wearing plaid. Nope, I don't know who you've seen then. Basically trying to deny what I seen as true, right? Because he's the one, as a narcissist, he's the one that's always right. He knows everything that's going on. He knows the truth. He still denies it to this day. I haven't spoken to him in like 2 years, thank the Lord. But to this day, if you were to ask him, he would tell you there was nobody in my apartment. There was no chick in there. There was no female. Juliana is just seeing things to make me seem like I'm crazy. That is what gaslighting is, to make the other person seem like they're just a nutcase so that they can start to like question their own reality and question their own thoughts. That's really what a narcissist wants to do. And this can be within any kind of relationship. This can be within a friendship. This can be within a family dynamic. This can be within a relationship, a marriage. Gaslighting has no boundaries. Anybody can gaslight anybody. So even to this day, yeah, he has always denied that I have seen somebody. And anytime I come with the facts, I come with the receipts, it's always a no, that never happened. And I don't know if it's because narcissists, they like to be in control, which I think is what it is, but because like I said, they don't care about anyone else. They don't care if they hurt you. They just want to be in control of the situation. I don't even know how, like, narcissists are really just, and ever since then, I'm just very cautious of who I let into my life. Whenever I feel like I am in the presence of a narcissist, I just cut it off real quick. I keep narcissists at a distance. That was my first real experience with a narcissist and with gaslighting. And it didn't work on me because, you know, I'm woke. You know what I'm saying? I was not on any kind of drugs. I know what I seen, and he could not get me to deny that. He could not get me to deny my own reality and my own thoughts. And then after he couldn't control me, that's when all hell broke loose because, you know, manipulating me was not easy. Maybe in the beginning when I thought I was in love, but then when I started to awaken and go through this spiritual journey, that is when it became a little bit more harder for him to try and control our situation and to control me. That relationship was just so karmic, and it had a lot of lessons entwined in it, and I'm so happy that I was able to go through that, even though it was hell on earth. I'm so happy that I was able to experience that because now I understand and now I know what to look for. But at the time, I was just like, I didn't understand because I felt like I was so pure and I was so honest, and even to this day, I'm so honest with people. And I don't understand why they give me that energy back. I don't know what I did to deserve being gaslighted, to be in that situation. I don't know why people like to lie to me to try to keep me around. I respect honesty. So when someone is honest with me and they communicate that and they're just very upfront and let me decide if I want to mess with them or not, friendship, relationship, anything, that's what I respect. Tell me how it is, and if I don't want that, let me be on my way. But a lot of people, they like to be in control and they don't like to give up an experience. And that's where People don't have to be a full-fledged narcissist, but they can have those tendencies. So a lot of times when I see people, they're not willing to let somebody go, or they're not willing to be honest with someone and let that person decide what they want to do with them, that's when I feel like that's when they might be a narcissist, just because, you know, they want that and they're not willing to be an open and honest person. They have to lie to get what they want because it's all about them. When I see people like that and I get that vibe from people, I try to stay away because I'm really not trying to have that energy around me. In one of my previous videos, I had mentioned a unhealthy love versus a healthy love, and that was the unhealthy love that I thought I was in. I think I was more of in a lust. That was the first person I'd ever been with. Like, I really did think I loved him. When I look back now, that is not love. He did not love me and I did not love him. I think I was in lust with him. I was in love with the idea of being with him. You know, I had this idea in my head that I wanted to fulfill, and it was just so toxic. It was so toxic. I'm so glad that I'm not in that relationship anymore, and I can see now I'm not wearing those rose-colored glasses anymore, and I can just look back and be like, damn, I was crazy. I was delusional. So of course he thought he would be able to manipulate me and gaslight me, and I would just stick around because I was so in lust with him. And now looking back, I'm like, oh, thank the Lord that you are gone and that situation is over. Meeting him kickstarted my spiritual journey. That was my first karmic relationship. That was the first time that I was able to get in tune with my own intuition and really open my third eye to everything, because after that, nothing was the same. That's why I'm so thankful about it. But it was just like, damn, that had me looking crazy. I was just so in love with the idea that I just didn't want to let that go. Just holding on to it. I was holding on to him and the idea of he's my first, so I'm gonna be with him for the rest of my life. I don't want to be with anybody else. I'll do anything for him. That was my thought process. I will do anything for him. I will always love him. I will always have love for him. Now it's almost like, God bless you. Gaslighting is one of those things that I try to warn people about, because if you are not in tune with yourself, it will just get you messed up. People like to manipulate people, and sometimes it's easy because once you get your hooks into people, some people are just easy to manipulate because they're just so naive. And that's the type of people that narcissists like to go after. People who are naive and inexperienced and don't really have a lot of knowledge. And that was definitely me. I was very unexperienced and naive with certain situations. So I think that's what made it easy for me to be a target of a narcissist. So whenever I see someone who I think is more vulnerable to these kind of people, I just try to warn them, like, hey, what he's doing is wrong, and I think he's actually trying to gaslight you to make it seem like you're really crazy, but what you've seen was actually reality, and he's just trying to manipulate you and gain control of you. So he's gonna tell you what you've seen is wrong when you really seen it. He wants to control you, so he's gonna tell you whatever he has to tell you to get you under his little spell. People have to be careful with narcissists nowadays. As everyone else gets enlightened, I think a lot of them are coming out, a lot of them are being exposed. You can have them in work, you can have them in your family, you can have them as your friends, as your boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, side piece. They're everywhere. I think it's really crucial for people to pay attention to who they have around them and to be in tune with themselves, because once you doubt yourself, it's over. So yeah, that was my story with gaslighting and dealing with a narcissist. If you want more videos like this, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment something down below. Tell me your story if you have ever dealt with a narcissist. I would love to hear it. And yeah, stay tuned for my next video.